Welcome to episode 6 of I Drink and I Stack Things. I would hope that if my wife did this show, she would call it I'm Stacked and I Drink Things. Anyway, this one's going to be kind of quick tonight. I was just musing about Goldbacks, and they seem to be the most popular subject in that if I talk about Goldbacks, they seem to do a little better in terms of engagement. So what I was thinking about, well, actually, I should probably start with the beer. Once again, I am not sponsored, but tonight's beer is Jacobite Ale, which has coriander and is fermented in oak barrels. And yes, it is. It's okay. It's actually not my favorite. I think the coriander is a little bit overpowering in it, but it's not bad. I'm not going to dump it out or anything. I don't think I paid that much for it either. I think it was about $6, which some of you may be thinking, $6 for a beer? That's a lot, but I've definitely paid more for beer. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about tonight is I was just thinking out loud about Goldbacks a little bit, and I was thinking about something with the premiums and the way they work. Now, we got one Goldback right here. Now, let's suppose on a given day that gold is exactly $3,000 an ounce, and therefore at 1/1000th of an ounce, this has $3 worth of gold in it. And I do not know what their production costs are involving, say, the polylaminate or whatever it is they use, or the machine, how much electricity it takes to run, but let's just suppose that this costs $2 to make, not counting the gold. So you got $3 in gold, $2 in production cost, and you sell it for $6, which means that the profit on this is $1. Not too bad, I suppose. I don't know how many of them they make, although they make millions of them, but as long as they're making a profit, it's okay, right? But now let's move on to the 5. And you notice for once I'm not using the Pirate Lady. You should probably get to look at the other Goldbacks as well, right? But for the 5 Goldback, well, it's a little bigger. So let's say the material costs $2.25 per to make. And of course, there's 5 times as much gold. So it's $15 worth of gold, $2.25, $17.25 to make, and it sells for, let's just say, $30. Now that's a more sensible profit, $12.75 for each one. Now we're kind of getting up there. But let's do a little extrapolation, shall we? The 10 Goldback here, that's going to be $30 in gold, then we'll say $2.50 for the production cost, and it sells for $60. That's a profit of $27.50. That's not bad. Oh, we'll go up again to the 25. Now this one definitely feels nice. This is the first one where it really feels like truly substantial, like you can feel the gold in it. $75 in gold, we'll say $3 production cost, sells for $150. The profit on this is $72. So it's definitely getting up there. Now on to the 50. $150 in gold. You know what, let's just say it costs a whole extra dollar. So $4 in production cost, sells for $300, profit is $146. Now, I don't have 100 Goldback, so our second amendment here, that's 100 milligrams of gold, it's going to fill in, so just pretend that this is 100 Goldbacks, why don't you? Well then, in that case, it would have 1/10 of an ounce of gold in it, which would be $300 worth. And let's add another dollar, $5 production cost, sells for $600. The profit on this bad boy, $295. Now, just to be clear, I don't know what the production costs are. I pulled them straight out of my ass, but I'm assuming the polymers and the electricity, they don't scale the same way as the gold does. You know, they're not doubling every time. But let's just say I'm wrong about it, and our 100 Goldback here, it costs a whopping $50 to make. Well, then the profit on this would still be $250, whereas the profit on 100 singles would only be $100. So they're definitely making more profit on the single 100 Goldback than they are on 100 singles. So for the buyer, the Goldbacks all essentially cost the same in terms of value per unit, but the purchase of 100 singles can be done more effectively if you're dollar cost averaging. Like, you don't always have $600 to spend on the 100 Goldback, but maybe you have 100 a month, so you buy 20 Goldbacks every month, that kind of thing. That's dollar cost averaging, and you typically come out ahead on that, and you definitely do in this example. But what that means is, where's the incentive to buy this one? I mean, I bought this one, but it's literally the only one I have, and I bought it just basically so I could have a 50, but I certainly don't need a stack of 50s. I don't know if I'm ever going to buy 100. I might not. But what this tells me is there's really not that much incentive to buy the larger denominations. And so I am wondering if Goldback Incorporated would benefit from working on a sliding scale. Now, what I mean by this is, let's say your 100 Goldback, instead of costing $600, let's say it costs $400. People would be a little more willing to save up for that. It's less profit for Goldback Inc., but at the same time, they would sell a lot more of them, which would increase their profits on them, I would think. However, there is a little problem with our story. What if I want to trade 100 of my individual Goldbacks here that I have spent months collecting, and I want to just out trade them for a single 100 Goldback? That'd be a great thing to do, right? Well, no, it wouldn't, because I have effectively spent more for this stack of 100 than I would if I wanted to buy one of these. So that would essentially be a loss of $200, so I wouldn't trade my Goldbacks for them. I would just use the fiat. I believe what's going on is that Goldback is far more concerned about the fungibility of it. They want you to trade 100 Goldbacks for 100 Goldbacks. They want you to trade 50 Goldbacks for 50 Goldbacks. You know, they want you to be able to take 3 5s and a 10 and change them for a 25. If they had a sliding scale for their pricing, people would be unwilling to do that. And so, if you are wondering why the premiums seem to be scaled improperly over the course of the denominations, that is the reason why. So that is all I have for you tonight. Feel free to like, subscribe, ring my bell if that's the sort of thing that turns you on. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my beer.